evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. My name is Joseph Delori. I am part of the Delta Zeta chapter. Some brief history about my fraternity is we were founded on December 4th, 1906 at the campus of Cornell University. We were founded by 7 founders, which we call our jewels. Our foundation is stemmed off of three aims: manly deeds, scholarship, and love for mankind. Today we'll be focusing on the scholarship aspect of this and by educating one another under the social justice umbrella. I want to welcome you to the first annual Fredrick A. Douglass Oratorical Competition here at Syracuse University. Fredrick A. Douglass was one of the greatest orators of his time, as he became a leader of the abolitionist movement through the extravagant orations and incisive anti-slavery writing. As a brother in our dear fraternity, this competition is dedicated to him as we honor him today. Our vision is for this event to happen once a year, tackling social justice issues on our campus in an effort to educate the uneducated, introduce the unfamiliar, and bring forth change through these more than qualified contestants. Please give these sessions a round of applause. The topic this year is cultural diversity. The motive behind this was to create potential bonds between students of different cultures so that we can learn from one another, building a network of resources. The way that I look at cultural diversity is a commitment to recognizing and appreciating the variety of characteristics that make individuals unique in an atmosphere that promotes and celebrates individual and collective achievement. Let me repeat that. A commitment of recognizing and appreciating the variety of characteristics that make individuals unique in an atmosphere that promotes and celebrates individual and collective achievement. Okay, with that said, the question that is being asked tonight to these contestants is what issues on campus hinder cultural diversity? As you listen to the orations tonight, the contestants will be speaking on the same topic and question of cultural diversity. The event is deeper, this event is deeper than just being a competition. It is more geared to educate all of us in cultural diversity through the unique perspectives of these contestants. Hopefully, our plan is for all of us to learn through these unique perspectives as we could find similar bonds with them. I'm more than excited to hear what they have in store for us. And thank you so much for attending the first annual Fredrick A. Douglass Oratorical Competition. And our wish is that we all learn from such a prominent group of contestants in an effort to educate ourselves to promote diversity in our everyday experiences. We have
helped our campus reach its potential of cultural diversity. So can I get a quick show of hands? How many people here belong to organizations that program on campus? Help me check. These programs that your organizations put on are exercise of voices. It's a form of expression. Now, how many of you have had events where you really needed more people to be there than were? So, why is that? Is it student apathy? Is it ignorance? Maybe it's a little bit of both. Or is it perhaps that there's a little too much going on here? Let's look at that. See, you walk around Shine and you see flyers for tons of events from loads of different organizations taking place all in the same week. To each respective organization, their event is superior to any other one. It means more than the other events going on campus. It'll have a greater impact on the cause, and you certainly will be doing more by being there than by being anywhere else. But on the whole, it's a little overwhelming, and it's literally too much of a good thing to happen, too much of a good thing to handle. Of this problem, our campus suffers from diverging diversity, which is really just a healthy array of student organizations with an overabundance of unique programming. We are so close to getting powerful, meaningful, collaborative, and intentional programs, but we set ourselves back every time we let.
is the number of oppressed nationalities, or people of color, if you prefer using a apolitical term, on campus proportional to their numbers in the United States? Does the content of your classes reflect the cultural background that you come from? How many of you have taken classes that equip you with the skills to go out there and solve problems with oppressed peoples? If you don't have the skills and knowledge to do that, what are you doing in your classes? Take the recently passed Asian American Studies minor, for example. Students have fought for that minor for 13 years, and we, the students, are still fighting because the original intent of the Asian American Studies minor is being slandered here on the campus. The original intent was, as Ira Quinn, a revolutionary Asian organization, said in their 12-point platform, which was inspired by the Black Panther Party 10-point platform. We want an education which exposes a true history of Western imperialism in Asia and around the world, which teaches us the hardships and struggle of our ancestors in this land, and which reveals a truly decadent, exploitative nature of American society. The American imperialists have tried to justify the world's empire by covering up the inhuman deeds that they perpetrated in Asia and to the rest of the third world. They also try to brainwash us.
Culturally and socially now sits thousands of miles away. Just imagine the separation. So when we speak of problems and cultural diversity on the SU campus, one can come to the conclusion that if anything, we are too diverse for our own good. A sort of self-segregation in which the Syracuse University student is trickled down into one of these many culturally backed student organizations on campus. We have created a salad bowl thesis for ourselves in which we all brush shoulders on campus, but in the end, we return to our own defined groups. I'll be the first to say that there's some truth in this theory. As a first-year student, I became active in the South Asian Students Association on campus, and I joined SU Zeta, a fusion Indian dance team, shortly thereafter. My experiences with both organizations were fantastic. I met a number of my peers and found a niche for myself on campus. But by the end of my first semester, I realized that by keeping to this group, and this group only, I was limiting myself to one population of students on campus. The next semester, I decided to participate in the Interfraternity Council's rush process. After joining Sigma Phi Epsilon, race separations on campus became even more apparent to me. I realized that each council in Greek life is divided either by gender or race. Due to the fact that Greek life...
Ignorance, intolerance, and incompetent leadership. Ignorance, perfect example, is are these ads that were published by the Daily Orange in which they portray women in a very derogatory manner. This is simply ignorant, disrespectful, condescending to women and people of color on campus. Ignorance is defined as lack of education or knowledge, uncultured. And ignorance allows people to remain in bubbles of their upbringing, which in the majority of cases is filled with the social prejudices, destructive discourses, and biases. It does not allow them to step outside of their comfort zones because these people are unaware that their perspective is limited and skewed sometimes. Moving on to the next point, intolerance, which is defined as an unwillingness to grant other people social rights and to accept other viewpoints. Intolerance may be rooted in ignorance, but it is nurtured by hatred, and left unattended can lead to violence. Incompetent leadership is the next one. Incompetence is defined as unqualified to perform certain acts, and leadership is action, not position. A leader is someone who has the ability to get different people to come together and work towards one vision without coercion or without threat of violence. At an institution of higher learning, someone who does not possess the qualities of a good leader, placed in a position of power, can be oppressive or simply ridiculous, as I will explain. Someone who is ignorant of the heart of a matter and intolerant of facts, placed in a position of power, can also be deadly. For example, the Asian Studies minor. How is it that a faculty member in charge of hiring qualified professors to teach this class at SU next semester?
With international students mingling with mostly other international students, the Shine Student Center being highly populated with only underrepresented groups, or sometimes members of the Interfraternity Council consorting themselves with only those on frat row. How can we, as a student community, move forward? To create transformation, we must challenge ourselves. As a culturally diverse student on this campus, I have challenged myself to move beyond my comfort zone. I have studied abroad twice in Paris, France, and London, England, and through these abroad experiences, I've been involved in interdisciplinary and dynamic groups, causing me to interact with students not like me. These relationships fostered abroad have been carried to campus, allowing myself and other individuals to exit our worlds and find commonality through our differences. As retreat chair of the Kappa Lambda chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, I created the My Sisters Keepers workshop along with members of Omega Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Through this workshop, we tackled the divide between Black and Latino female students on this campus and how we can move forward to create a unified force. Learning to understand each female struggle and accept each other instead of tearing each other down. Today, at this moment, I challenge you. I stand in front of you not to focus on the issues, but to establish solutions. When you're considering the next event to attend, break down those barriers, step out of your box, and attend an event where you begin to learn and appreciate the difference.
Your gender come into play immediately, as they choose to wrap you in pink or blue for reasons you will never know but will accept. You are literally born into cultural limitations and expectations, based on society's rules of what is normal. Rules that you will become more aware of at a tender age when you first hear, "Those are for girls. Only boys do that. Color inside the lines and only square blocks fit inside square holes." As you grow, you will constantly be told what music, careers, sports, and holes best fit your shape. Radio says this is for you. Television says people who look like you do this. Grandma says eat this. Dad says listen to your mother. Mother says don't listen to your father. Depending on where and how you were raised, you will be surrounded by people who have been told similar things. Every day is filled with the same music and a song that says, "This is for you." Color inside the lines, and only square blocks fit inside square holes. You, if you color outside the lines of the shape that you have been involuntarily given, you will be considered exceptions to the rule. You will hear things like, "You're pretty for a dark-skinned girl." "You're a white girl, but you can dance." "He white, but he cool though." "Young man, you are very articulate." Being a student of color on this campus means you have already broken lines by becoming a part of an institution that was not created with you in mind, but as an expectation. Large colleges such as Syracuse University are made with a focus on the majority.
What I'd like to do is call all of the contestants to the stage. My brother Joseph, the lawyer, will be presenting the awards. So we are going to begin with the second runner-up. The second runner-up goes to Jonathan Bonhart. All right, moving on to the first runner-up. This is awarded to Natasha Benjamin. And the winner of the first annual Fredrick A. Douglass Oratorical Contest goes to Nayma Silver.